Hello and namaste everyone. You're watching Smarty Tech Face and I'm Anjali with a new video related to the AWS services. So today we will talk about one of the main service that is provided by the AWS is the SQS. That is the Amazon Simple Queue service. So we have already talked about the other services like DynamoDB and S3. So today we are starting with the new service of SQS. In today's video, we will firstly see how we can create a SQS client to work with the Amazon SQS service through Java. Okay, so let's get started. So as I said that we will work with the Amazon SQS service. So we are going to code it in our Java language, and in Java language what are the prerequisites you needed to be connect with the Amazon SQS service is that you should have a SQS client. So how you can create a SQS client, and there is a few challenges that we used to have, like what and how you can create the SQS client if you are working through your local system, because sometimes we prefer like having a role attached to the AWS servers. Sometimes we prefer to have a base session credentials on it. So there are different way to connect to the SQS service, right? But how we will do it, we will see it. Okay, so there are different way. I will tell you about 2 to 3 ways that how you can create a SQS client. If any of them is preferable to you, that works for you, just go and connect with that. Next, after creating the client, I will tell you about the attribute that we have to set up, that is a visibility timeout. As you can see that I have already opened the documentation regarding that, so that you will be understand that what is the visibility timeout, so why we needed that. So let's see that how we can do that. So you can go to this developer guide of the SQS service, and here they have mentioned about what is that, and there are some few topics that must be learned, that must be understand before writing for the SQS, like what is the difference between the SQS, MQ and SNS. They all are the messaging services, so there are some difference between them. If you want me to tell about these differences, just comment it below. Next video will be on that only. If you will comment it, then I will going to let you know about that. So there are other things also that has been mentioned by the SQL Amazon itself. You can go and check it out. Okay, that they what are the SQS services, what are the how you can manage it, how it works. There are different documentation that is given by the SQS. Just go and learn it out, just read it out. Okay, so let's start with the coding part. So we will firstly do with that how to start with the SQS client, how to start to work with the SQS service. So firstly, as I said, we have to create the SQS client. So how you can create a client, so let's see. Let me tell you, I am going to show you 3 ways of connecting the SQS client. Okay, first way is this. So this is the way when you will have a credentials on a AWS client. Okay, AWS servers, you have in the SQS credentials. Then in that case, what are the what are the AWS credentials? So you, in this way, we only needed the access key and the secret key, and if you have it, you go and use it with the AWS SQS client builder. This is the builder method that we have to use while creating the SQS client with credential. If you are going to use the AWS basic credentials, in that way, this is the first way to connect with the AWS credentials. You just have to use the access key and the client key. So in that case, you don't have any sessions enabled on it, you don't have the role enabled on it. Okay, session means that particular let's say I can say the sessions has been enabled for the 8 hours. Okay, in that case you have a token regarding that 8 hours, and after the 8 hours is going to be complete, then token will get expired. So in that case, you have to use the basic session credentials. This is containing the access key, secret key, and the session token. This session token will be generated using the URL you have been provided for the roles. So whenever you have a sessions enabled on your servers and you want to connect the and you want to create any client of the Amazon SQS, in that case through the local system, in that case you have to use the basic session credential to connect with the AWS servers, AWS clients in when you have a session enabled on it. So in that case you have to use the basic session credentials and the object. You have to create the object using the while providing the access key, secret key and token. So we have a basic credentials here and then after having the basic credential you can go and use the Amazon SQS client builder method with credential you have, in that case AWS static credential provider. This is the static credential provider. Here we have the static credential provider with the only secret key and the access key. We have here the secret key, access key and token. So we are using the AWS static credential provider of the basic session credentials, and here we have the basic AWS credentials. Now this is the second way. Now but if you have a role enabled on your server and you are not working with the local system, in that case you don't have to do anything. You don't have to provide the, so when you don't want to connect to the SQS client using the local system, in that case you just have to use the AWS SQS client builder with credential and you have to use the instance profile credential provider. So what will it do? It will do like wherever on which your application is running, your application will be running on the AWS servers, and that AWS servers has been linked with the specific role, that is the IAM role, and that role will be automatically taken by the instance profile credential provider, and this will be false. So we have to use the instance profile credential provider false. You can see the definition given here. Just read it out if you want to understand it more. So we don't have to provide the access key and the client key while our code is running directly on the AWS server, and this we can comment it now because we are currently using the local system. Either we have to use this if we don't have a session. If we have a session, we have to use this, right? So this is the way that how you can create a SQS client. After getting .build, we will get the SQS client. So this is the client which we can use for our other operations. Now before this, after this, you may have what I am just doing here is for the other type of operation, what we needed is we must need a URL for this, because AWS SQS client SQS always provided a get URL for producing or consuming any of your message. So I am just getting here is SQS clients dot get URL, so that if the client is connected successfully, in that case we will get the URL, and this is the name of your queue. So you can see that your queue name, simplified method form for invoking the get queue URL operation. So this is my queue name, and here I am just getting the URL. So here I'll get the URL. Okay, now why I want to take the URL? Because I want to set a attribute on it. What is the attribute name is? This is the visibility timeout. Why we have to give it? See, Amazon SQS service is work like a distributed system, and it never used to delete the messages after once it has been read through other consumers. What I am saying is, if you will go and read it out, you can see that when a consumer receives and processes a message from a queue, the message remains in the queue. That means Amazon SQS is never going to delete the messages whenever it can be read by many systems many times. So in that case, what you have to do is you have to, if you want that message should be read once, in that case you have to delete a message after the processing. Now there may be a case that while processing and after going to the delete operation, there may be a few milliseconds time it will take. So in that milliseconds, it may be possible that okay, the processing time is 10 ms, then within 10 ms another system will get consume this message, and then it will process it again. So in that case, you want that after once the message has been read, it should wait for some time to be read by the other system. So that time we have to provide using the visibility timeout. Okay, so if the message has been returned, then it will wait for few seconds so that the other system will not read this message, and after the processing of after once it has been processed, it will get deleted by the first system which is reading that message, which is processing that message, and after the deletion of that message, nobody will going to be read that message again. So this is the this is need to be read. So by default you can see that, so the default visibility timeout for a message is 30 seconds. If you will not going to set the message visibility, it will going to be by default as a 30 seconds. But you have to take care, if your processing is not, let's say you are processing any message, why it has been doing so, because why the SQS is not deleting this, because SQS is a distributed system. There is no guarantee that the consumer actually receives the message, maybe due to the connectivity issue or due to any consumer application issues. Maybe it will be possible that they are not able to read the message. So in that case you have to do it by yourself. So, and the minimum is 0 seconds and the maximum is up to 12 hours. You can make the visibility timeout as 12 hours. Fine. So this is what I have done here is, I have done the attribute request, set the attribute request to the visibility timeout. So we have provided the value as 5000. So just I have provided the visibility timeout, and I am just printing the done, and just want to show you that if it is working fine or not. I just used some of the operation, that is the list queue. It will provide you the list of all the queues that has been given in the client. Fine. So let's see, run as Java application. So you can see that it has been done and all the URLs has been provided by the SQS client. That means our SQS client is connected successfully, and now we can use our URL for producing or consuming any message from any system. So this is all about that, how you can start with the SQS client, SQS services. So we will further move with the other videos regarding this tutorial. So stay tuned with us and take care. Bye bye.